Hello! I hope that you are doing well. Thank you so much for joining me here today. As you can see, it's time to go back to my readathon for my autumn equinox. I've set everything down so we can get started. So what is going on this year? I have 6 courses I need to take, and let's just get right to it. So for my first course, the prompt for that book is that the title has all the letters of my first name, and so that book will be My Mechanical Romance by Alexene Farol Follmuth. My next prompt is a favorite author's debut book, and I had trouble with this one because I have so many favorite authors, but also because last month I read actually a lot of their debut books. So I'm going to go with Looking for Alaska. We've already talked about this book, so we won't talk about it again. My next prompt is that the same letter appears in the title 4 or more times, and for that I chose The Drawing of the Three. It has 4 E's in it. It's the second of the Dark Tower books by Stephen King, and I've needed to read those for a while. My next prompt was to read a vampire book, and I'm going with Vampire Academy. The next prompt is to read a translated book. I'm going with Anxious People by Fredrik Backman. He is also the author who wrote A Man Named Uwe. So, very good book. I'm hoping I like this one as well. Next prompt is to read a retelling. I have chosen My Salty Mary, which is a retelling of The Little Mermaid. So those are the 6 prompts I needed to finish my fall equinox. I have chosen to add a 7th book. So for that prompt was to read an emotional read. I am going to read Jane Eyre, which is one of my favorite books, and it also has some really emotional parts for me, at least. We won't talk about Looking for Alaska in any of the books because we have talked about that before. I will link that video below. Lately, with my reading, I've also had a non-reading prompt for each book. And because I don't have that in the readathon, I have decided to make my own prompts and to continue to do that this month. And I will select the prompts right before the video where I read that book. So the first book we will read is My Mechanical Romance, and the prompt for that will be to make a piece of jewelry inspired by this book. So I will be back very soon with a review of My Mechanical Romance, and you'll also see the jewelry that I'm inspired to create. For those of you who are unfamiliar with my readathons, twice a year I participate in a month-long readathon, and then once a year there's usually a mini readathon that's like a week long. So in the past, the readathons have been April and August. This year is April and September. So it's September, and that's why I'm doing the readathon. So we've got the books, we've got the first book, and we've got a prompt to fulfill for that. So you will hear all about the book and the prompt in the next video. I hope that you will join me then, and until then I hope that you enjoy all that you do and all that you read. And thank you.